you're invited. I didn't celebrate a lot of Thanksgivings growing up because it's not an Italian holiday. I did at a certain point, but in my late teens, I started to realize how I could put my unique spin on it. Think about the traditional dishes that you have at Thanksgiving, but how do you make them slightly Italian? This year's menu celebrates the best of both worlds with my baked turkey parmesan. I've got an elegant spin on cornbread, polenta and fennel popovers with citrus butter. For the ultimate Thanksgiving mashup, sweet and salty mashed potatoes. And my chocolate pumpkin cheesecake souffle is decadent and lighter than air. I'm starting with my dessert because it can be made ahead and only gets better after a day in the fridge. I wanted to bring the best of two worlds together with my pumpkin chocolate cheesecake souffle. Chocolate, which I love, and pumpkin, which is Thanksgiving tradition. And instead of having a crust on the bottom, top it with nuts and granola, an inverted cheesecake, but in a souffle mold. And I think that that's really fun for Thanksgiving. I have 1 block of cream cheese and 4 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna add a little bit of pumpkin puree to it. I'm taking a little bit of pumpkin puree, very Thanksgiving-like, right? And adding a little bit of chocolate to it too, so it makes it very decorative. So we're just gonna mix in a little bit, about a half a cup or so of pumpkin puree. This is something that is very easy to use. This is a great thing to just add to a lot of different desserts, I think. So this is like the cheesecake filling part. And later we'll get started on the souffle part. And you wanna make sure that the cream cheese and the butter and everything, pretty much all your ingredients, are at room temperature, so they incorporate really nicely. We're gonna add 4 egg yolks. And the egg yolks add a nice amount of richness and also will slowly kind of hold everything together. So just mix them all in here. A teaspoon of vanilla extract. And a little cinnamon. Mix that together. So what we're gonna do is add 1/3 cup of cake flour. Now, cake flour is a lot lighter than all-purpose flour. It's really fine, so it's very, very light. Because we want to get the texture of a souffle in this dessert, we wanna use cake flour. And then we're also gonna add a cup of milk. You know, in a souffle, you always add a little bit of milk or milk and cream. We want the moisture from the milk to kind of give this sort of richness to the cheesecake and souffle mixture. So we're gonna mix that all together. So I started beating my 4 egg whites for my really quick meringue. And this is the souffle part. You need a lot of air to kind of lift that souffle. So now that there's a soft peak, I'll show you. What you wanna do now is this is the time you wanna add the sugar. If you add sugar to the egg whites too soon, the egg whites never fill up with air, and that's what you want. So you wanna get soft peaks first, and then you slowly add the sugar in. And we're gonna do about 1/2 cup of sugar. And just slowly start adding the sugar. There we go. And now look at that, see? Stiff peaks. Okay, time for the pumpkin filling. So this is what you wanna do. At this point, because you have the stiff peaks and the egg whites have a nice amount of air to them, we're gonna add a couple of spoonfuls of this into the pumpkin mixture. What you wanna do is start to sort of lighten the mixture up. If we add all of the egg whites in here, then we'll deflate all of the egg whites. Nice, okay. And this is where you have to be patient, because you can only do a few spoonfuls at a time. Fold everything together. So I have sort of a lasagna baking dish, and inside, I put a little souffle bowl that we already buttered. So the idea now is that you pour it in here. Look how beautiful that looks. And see how thick and velvety it is? I melted a little bit of chocolate. Take it in the spoon. Look how nice that looks, right? And we're gonna start in the center, and we're just gonna go around, just like this. Now you can decorate this any which way you want. So I'm just gonna keep going in circles. There, and keep going out. So just spiral it out. All right, so now take a bamboo skewer and work outwards like this and make a pretty little decoration, see? Just like that. So from the center out, and then you gotta bake it. Okay, I have a little tea kettle here with some warm water. We're gonna pour water about halfway up the souffle mold. So we're gonna bake this at 350 for 10 minutes so that the mixture just rises, and then we're gonna lower the heat to 300 for about 50 minutes. And then you let it cool in the water, and once it's cooled, put it in the fridge and chill it like you do a cheesecake.